Okay, so we're going to take a step back and address something that we haven't looked at already, and this is in terms of security with the website. Now, we've just created our profile page, so if I click on that here, you can see that this is my first name, which is the value that I store, first of all, when I register, and something I can update later on here if I like, as well as things like my last name and email address and any other fields that you're adding here. Now these are stored in the database like so, and we're going to look at an issue that's an extremely common problem with websites that allow you, as the user, to enter any data that's stored and then output at a later stage. So for example, any social networking website where you can enter a bio, your details, your interests, anything that's stored and then output for anyone to see, basically, that's publicly accessible. So I'm going to sort of expose a security issue that we currently have here, and then we're going to go ahead and fix this and see how we change this. So I'm going to go over to settings, and I'm going to modify my first name. Now, obviously, you would expect your users to say, well, you know, my first name's Alex, so I'm going to type Alex. However, the key here is never to trust input. And the reason being is we could do something like, you can see I've got it up here from where I've been testing. Now this is an old HTML attribute, BG color, and that allows you to set background color on a page. Or, for example, I could say strong and then Alex, like this. Now obviously these are HTML elements, and strong is just a way to emphasize text, and you know, most browsers will render this bold. However, this isn't really a valid first name. We don't want to allow users to do things like this. And when I click update here, you can see that my name here, and if I go to my profile, this is now bold. Again, I could do something like underlined, for example, which is obviously not semantically correct, but however, you know, this is now underlined. Now, this is a problem because we don't want users to be able to do this. Now, this isn't really a security issue, it's more of a display problem. However, you also your users also have the ability to use scripting. So for example, I could say alert here, and then I could say hello. Now when I click update, this hasn't done anything, well, it hasn't done anything yet there, but when I refresh now, you can see that we have this script execution, and you know, this is a security problem for a variety of reasons, redirects, things like that. Now we need to protect against this, so after this long explanation, we have a very, very short solution to this. Now I've got registered.php open here, simply for the fact that, oh no, I need to go ahead and open the function that registers our user. Let's scroll down and find this, so register user. Now we've got this array walk, and that's calling this array sanitize function in general.php. So for every item, i.e. first name, last name, email, blah blah blah, we perform this function here, or call this function MySQL real escape string. Now that helps to protect against SQL injection, but what we're not doing is sanitizing any HTML input we find, or any HTML elements we find. Now what we can actually do is we can use a function to convert these this data, or this text, into HTML entities. Now HTML entities are a representation of things like a less than or greater than sign, but that are rendered to the browser and that aren't shown as you know, actual symbols, for example. Well, you'll see in a moment. So if I say use HTML entities around here, and also around this single sanitize function, which we use for things like user input, logging in, anything really that we need to singularly just sanitize a piece of data. It's important we do this here as well if we use this in the future for anything that requires input. Let's go ahead and just refresh here. We get this same problem up here, but I'm going to go ahead and just modify this back to Alex. And there we go, we're back at the start. So we can now look at the new effect that this HTML entities function has had. My first name here is Alex, that's fine. Now let's go ahead And actually, in fact, let's go ahead and get rid of this quickly, and we'll just show how it was stored in the database previously, because this will basically just, you know, give you the clue. So I use my script tags here to produce this output here. Click on here, and you see we've got this here. That's what you'd expect. You've got a less than sign here, greater than signs to n, forward slashes, etc., etc. Now let's go ahead and just redo what we've just done, or undone. So that's to use the HTML entities function and sanitize our data this way as well. Let me go ahead and change my name back to Alex. Update. The database is updated to reflect that. Now let me go ahead and do the same thing again. Let's just do the script tags. That's more of a danger. Now you'll notice first of all this is now actually being displayed on the page rather than being executed. When I click back on settings, you can see that we've got this instead now. When I click on users, now you can see that we have the HTML entity, which starts with an ampersand and then LT stands for less than, colon. That's an HTML entity that's then rendered on the page. So for example, if we view the source of this web page, we can see that this now does not actually execute this alert here, because this is just seen as output. It's not seen as the start of a script tag. So that's, you know, a really important thing to bear in mind when you're actually accepting user data. The same if we were to use strong and I clicked update, we just get our strong tags start and end. So you may not want to allow your users to enter any tags whatsoever, and there are additional ways that we can, you know, protect against this as well. We have functions like strip tags, and that's just strip underscore tags. So we'll do the same for this one as well, strip underscore tags. And let's go ahead and check this out. So let's go and edit my settings again. I'll just click update. Hold on. Okay, so let's change this back to Alex. And let's go ahead now and use strong like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out in the database. You can see now that we have escaped the. We've done exactly the same thing, haven't I? Oh no, of course. Sorry. The reason that this hasn't worked is we've converted to an HTML entity, of course, and then that's then not seen as a tag. So by stripping tags of things that aren't tags, we obviously don't get the desired output. So thinking about this logically, we would go ahead and we would use strip tags here, which would strip the tags and then perform, and then we'd have any HTML entities converted again. So let's go ahead and check this out. So let's change this back to Alex quickly. And let's go ahead and then change this to, we'll do strong Alex. Update. There we go. We've updated, but nothing's happened. We remain at Alex, and that's because the strip tags function has changed these tags, or removed these tags essentially. So even when I type strong and then update in the database, this just remains as Alex because the tags from either side have been stripped as well. So this strips HTML and PHP tags. So you know, PHP tags aren't as much as of an issue in this case, but it certainly strips HTML tags. So that's some visibility security where we are sanitizing user data that's actually output onto the page. We've modified the two functions array sanitize and sanitize. Array sanitize is obviously sanitizing things like our update field as we're going update information as we're looping through and updating this data, and sanitize is just a single. But these functions, go ahead, you know, have a look at them in the PHP manual and sort of read up about them. There'll be some examples there as well. But it's extremely important that we do consider any data that is allowed to be entered by a user and then output again.